Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third day of our Knowledge Week. My name is Isha Mahmood, and today we are going to talk about Syed Babar Ali School of Science and Engineering. Currently, the school is offering an undergraduate degree in 7 disciplines, including biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, computer science, electrical engineering, and chemical engineering. All the students at this school are involved in the quest to probe some of the deepest and most pertinent issues faced by humanity, from the structure of matter to problems of water, energy, environment, sustainability, and healthcare. The school aims to produce professionals that are knowledgeable and are tech savvy in their own areas of expertise and are not afraid to tackle challenging problems. I'd now like to take this opportunity to introduce our distinguished panelists to all of you. Sitting right next to me, we have Dr. Syed Masood, who's the Dean of the School of Science and Engineering. Next to him, we have Dr. Ehsan Ayub Qazi, who's a faculty member at the Department of Computer Science. And then we have Dr. Mohammad Tariq, who's a faculty member at the Department of Biology. I'd now like to request Dr. Syed Masood to please tell our audience a bit more about himself.
Yep, thank you, Isha. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. I'm Syed Masood. I have been at LUMS for nearly 18 years now. I'm the Dean of the School of Science and Engineering, and I'm also a professor in electrical engineering. My own field of research is related to microelectronics and hardware design, chip design. And that is where, I feel there is a lot of excitement and a lot of work that is ongoing. I just wanted to add to what Isha said. We actually offer 8 programs. The program that was not mentioned is a joint program we have between mathematics and economics. So our school has 8 undergraduate programs, covers a range, a wide breadth and depth of knowledge that is in demand these days.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shahid. Dr. Ehsan, if you could please share something about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I am the Department Chair of Computer Science and an Associate Professor. I do research in computer networks and distributed systems, and more specifically, I work on cloud computing, designing technologies for the developing world, and online privacy. I teach a variety of courses at the undergraduate level, including a course on data science, data structures, and I've been associated with LUMS for the last 8 years. I'm also an undergraduate from LUMS and prior to joining my PhD program at the University of Pittsburgh. So I've had a long association with LUMS, first as an undergrad and then later as a faculty and department chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ehsan. Dr. Tariq, if you could please share something about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, viewers. So my name is Mohammad Tariq. I'm the founding chair of biology at LUMS and also an associate professor. I'm associated with LUMS since last 10 years. Before coming to LUMS, I was at ETH Zurich. And I had my PhD from Friedrich Mischer Institute in Basel, Switzerland. So my area of expertise is gene regulation, or in simple words, we call it epigenetics. So how genes are switched on and switched off during our development, because this is a phenomenon which plays a key role in cell-fate determination. For example, how eyes are formed, how heart is formed, how kidney, liver, and different tissues and organs are performing their function in our body. So at LUMS, I have been very actively involved in teaching genetics, undergrad genetics, also developmental biology, molecular biology, which is one of the main themes in our undergrad program. My own research group, it is using fruit fly. In Pakistan, it's the only research lab which utilizes fruit fly or Drosophila melanogaster. And we are trying to understand how gene regulation is involved in development of different tissues and organs of flies.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. Dr. Shahid, please tell us about the School of Science and Engineering at LUMS, its history, its vision.
Yeah, I think that is important because I want the audience to know why our school is unique and different and why it is more futuristic. Our school is 11 years old, so it's not a very long history, but it was created with a vision, with a forward-looking vision. So we wanted to do things that the other leading institutions in the world, like Stanford and Caltech, aspire to do, and that is why we brought science and engineering together. That is how the world of science and engineering is moving these days. The disciplinary boundaries are getting blurred. As a researcher, I realize after working for a few years that there are many problems where the solution does not necessarily reside in my own discipline. I have to look for other areas to find solution to challenging problems. And that realization exists at some of the very best universities. So we thought that we will model those universities so the students that we produce are prepared for the future. They may not find it their application right now, but the kind of problems that the world is facing in terms of environment, water security, food security, climate change, and so many others, diseases that are coming up, and the solutions, tall buildings, so many things. So all these challenging problems do not find solution in a particular discipline. And whereas in Pakistan, most of us are trained in a very disciplinary fashion. It's a more of vertical education that we received, and we are not taught to look here and there. So to prepare students that are prepared, that are ready for future and that can tackle the problem, the challenges that are going to confront us in few years, we have chalked out an interdisciplinary curriculum. We promote and we advocate that we believe in no boundaries. We want our students to study courses across different fundamental areas of science and engineering, and we allow the students to not only take courses but also do different projects, research projects, as well as their curricular final year projects across different areas and boundaries. So our students, we feel, are much well prepared internationally. They are much more fit in global opportunities for higher education, for jobs, and for so many other exciting things that are happening around the world. And we have 6 years of students that have been coming out from our programs, undergraduate programs, and the placements that they have received and the appreciation and accolades that they have earned for us is a proof of what we are doing is something right and something that has to be cherished and acknowledged. So I would like to welcome all of you to apply to LUMS, and given if you get the opportunity, you will really feel that it is something that what I am saying is actually true, and we really welcome you to the School of Science and Engineering.
Thank you very much for a thorough introduction, Dr. Syed. Dr. Hassan, if you could please tell us something about the CS department.
Sure. So the computer science program at LUMS is the second oldest program at the university. And we have 18 full-time faculty members who have been educated from some of the finest institutions across the world. Computer science is also one of the most popular undergraduate majors in the School of Science and Engineering. And our faculty actually carry out research in broad areas of computer science, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, computer vision and graphics, human-computer interaction and software engineering, and also in computer networks and systems. So we cover a broad spectrum of computer science areas. And one of the unique things about, I think, computer science is that we are part of the School of Science and Engineering. And so like Dr. Syed said, SSC offers a broad-based science curriculum. So any student who comes into SSC has to take a course in biology, physics, chemistry, basic mathematics, computer science, and engineering. And that means that our students are educated to not only do well in their disciplines, but also speak languages across disciplines, which is very important, like Dr. Syed said, in the future for innovating, because a lot of innovation that is happening today is across these boundaries that happen. The other good thing about, I think, which holds across SSC is the fact that as part of our curriculum, students are provided the opportunity to carry out independent work in collaboration with a faculty member or two. And that provides them the opportunity to actually extend their learning beyond the classroom, which we think is a very unique opportunity for students at this stage. So that's brief introduction about computer science.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan. Dr. Tariq, please tell us about the biology program and department.
So let me give you a brief overview of basic sciences, not just biology.
Sure.
Because as Syed introduced, so the biggest strength of SSC is bringing engineering next to sciences and the basic sciences. So we have a very vibrant chemistry program, biology program, physics, and of course, sciences are incomplete without mathematics. So in chemistry, we have, and all these basic sciences programs, their emphasis is basically on teaching the fundamentals. Because what has been left out in Pakistan in undergraduate education is that a lot of emphasis was on applied side of knowledge, very superficial knowledge. So chemistry program, it actually emphasizes on teaching fundamentals of physical chemistry, the organic chemistry, biochemistry. Then there are major areas like nanosciences or nanotechnology, nanomedicine, materials. We have there two very vibrant, very exciting groups on organic synthesis of drugs and agrochemicals. So while these professors not only perform their independent research, but they are the ones who come into the classroom and they teach all those fundamentals of physical chemistry, organic, and the biochemistry, etc. We have a biology program where I'm housed in. So we have, again, the main focus of our program is basically cell and molecular biology. And what we have is also bioinformatics is part of this cell and molecular biology program. So these are not two different programs, they are integrated. So there's no boundary between these programs. Again, the focus is to teach students fundamentals of cell, a living cell, how it operates, because we believe if you understand a single cell, you will be able to understand a tissue and an organ and an organism. And you will be able to, learn about how you remain healthy, how you become sick. So these are the things. So we teach DNA, proteins. So cell and molecular biology is all about DNA and proteins, which are the fundamental building blocks of our living cell or our life. There are research groups. So the biology program focuses on, for example, infectious diseases. We work on hepatitis C, AIDS virus. We work on pneumococci. Another focus of biology program is we have cancer therapeutics and drug discovery. So as Syed introduced, there are no boundaries. So this cancer therapeutics and drug discovery, it works in very close collaboration with our colleagues in chemistry, the ones who synthesize small molecules. And the idea is to discover, anti-cancer drugs or anti-dengue molecules. And some of the very exciting work, so they recently published that clove contains anti-dengue active agent. And that was a work published together with our chemistry colleagues and biology colleagues. Also, the third focus of our biology program is bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is basically all computer science. It's all, I call this in silico biology. So you should know that the term big data, it actually emanated from all the big data which was generated in a human genome or coming from biology labs. So bioinformaticians, they are the ones we have and all over the world, they are actually expert in computer science. They are software engineers or computer programmers, and they are the ones who are handling this big data coming out of, let's say, cancer therapeutics lab or my lab, which works on epigenetics or animal development or infectious diseases. And then using their algorithms and in silico tools, they then predict the stringency or the validity of our data. The fourth area is agriculture or plant sciences. And this is where we teach plant molecular biology. Being an agriculture country, I think our major emphasis should be, and that's what we are trying to do at LUMS. Then is the physics program. I think without physics and maths, there's no basic sciences. So physics is a very innovative department at LUMS. So we have experimental physics, we have theoretical physics, and then there is a part of physics department which is involved in devices engineering. I try to explain all of them one by one. So, of course, the theoretical physics is all about, they are working on string theory, quantum mechanics, statistical mechanics, the theoretical aspects of physics. Some of our faculty worked on, the theoretical questions about the origin of universe, etc. Or recently, one of them gave a beautiful seminar about the black hole. So it's really the cutting edge area in sciences, talking about universe. The experimental physicists, they are involved in Raman spectroscopy. This is about, understanding different molecules within the cell. For example, molecules in a cancer cell versus a living cell, their behavior will be different. So how do we understand that? So Raman spectroscopy is one of the tool. Raman won Nobel Prize as well way back. So one of the professor in physics works on, he has developed the Raman spectroscopy tools or methodology here. He's also working on developing microscopes. So another of our colleague is, for example, he's collaborating with biology, and they're trying to develop very specific microscopes in which you can specifically look at membranes or cell membranes. It's a very difficult region to view under microscopes. Devices engineering is, so the one part of physics department, they have actually innovated the low-cost manufacturing of all the tools and methodologies which were indigenously developed at SSC during last 10 years. And all the physics labs in Pakistan, they are being renovated or re-engineered or established using these devices or low-cost experiments or indigenously designed experiments. And I think that is raising the aim is to raise level of physics education in all our public sector universities as well. Coming to maths, as we all know, it's the father of all sciences. So again, we have people who work on partial differential equations, mathematical modelings of diseases. So also, now we have, I think, 2 or 3 more faculty members who are more inclined to work on biology side, which may be very different to our audience in Pakistan, but that's where a lot of excitement is all about. So they use basic fundamental tools of maths, and all these basic sciences disciplines, they have integrated courses in our BS program. So all the undergrads which come in SSC, as Dr. Hassan highlighted, so they take maths courses and they are taught by our wonderful math faculty. They include Calculus 1, Calculus 2, differential equation, linear algebra, probability and statistics, etc. And this makes very much the core of our SSC curriculum. Similarly, the physics people, they teach mechanics and they teach electricity and magnetism, as well as the modern physics, the non-Newtonian physics as we know. And chemistry people similarly teach, chemistry labs, quantum chemistry, nanomedicine, nanotechnology. All this is part of our SSC undergrad curriculum. So I think that's enough.
Thank you. I think that pretty much covers everything. Okay, so we're now going to start taking live questions. So the first question is from Salman, and he'd like to know, how would my career prospects look like after completing a program from this school? Dr. Syed, if you could answer that.
Yes, see, broadly there are 2 groups of students who study, and the first group that I'm going to mention dominates the other. The first group is people who are the students who are passionate about science and then research and higher studies. And that has been the forte of the school. More than 50%, 60% students across the school are able to find admissions and funding opportunities, mostly in the good universities in the US and the UK and Australia. So most of the students, more than half, find that to be an attractive career path in research and higher education that they want to pursue. For other 40-50%, there are plenty of jobs in different industries, in these schools and different educational institutions, in curricular design and so many others. And some take up entrepreneurship, and that. So it's not confined to a particular program across the school. So when I'm saying these words. This holds true for students who have graduated from chemistry or computer science or math. There are wonderful things that our students have done, and in all these areas. So higher education, employment in local industry, employment in teaching institutions, such as schools, and entrepreneurship. So these are the popular career paths that our students pursue.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Shahid. Okay, so the next question is from Anusha, and she'd like to know, can this program help me get a job abroad? I'd actually request Dr. Ehsan to take this question, since you're also a graduate of the school.
Sure, very much. So I would like to give a more elaborate answer to this, and I would just echo what Dr. Shahid said, that SSC students generally take three broad paths as we have observed. One is that there are many students who would opt for higher education, go to graduate school, both for their master's and PhD programs in leading universities across the world. Second, there's a large fraction of students who opt out for industry, both local and international industry. So for example, our chemistry graduates, they have a lot of them have gotten placement in Intel. I was recently in California, in Florida, and I had a lot of conversation with some of the alumni there. Similarly, many of our computer science and engineering graduates have taken up positions in companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Cisco, Apple, etc. So one of the things that I think SSC prepares you is to have deep foundational knowledge about basic sciences and math and engineering, and then to have a rigorous education in your discipline. And by providing you those educational opportunities and opportunities for independent work, our hope is to prepare our students for change, because the 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, the world would be very different. And in order to be successful in that kind of a world, you need to be really grounded in solid foundations of basic science and math, and then also have the perspective of your disciplinary knowledge and applied knowledge as well. So absolutely, our students get placements abroad, and you will be well positioned, having done a program from SSC, to actually be placed anywhere.
Absolutely. So like Dr. Ehsan said, we're here to prepare you for the future. Okay, so the next question is from Umar Siddiqui. How is LUMS School of Science and Engineering, how is LUMS School of Science and Engineering degree ranked nationally and internationally? Dr. Shahid, you take this question.
Yes, see, so there are certain rankings done by independent ranking agencies. So as a university, we are top 100 in Asia. Yes. And we are, I don't want to name, so we are 1 or 2 in Pakistan. Sometimes we are number 1 in Pakistan, sometimes we are number 2. And there's some other rankings that put us, but we are at the top, so we are among the top best universities in the country. And same goes for the school. Because our programs are new, not all of them are ranked yet, but electrical engineering, computer science, maths, these are the ones that are already ranked, and I think physics possibly. And then internationally, we are in the top 500 worldwide ranking of these programs. And certainly among the top, the best program that you'll find in Pakistan. Again, it's very difficult to, because I'm in the profession, I can tell you, it's very close, but differing by some points from one university to another, among the good ones. But the program that I mentioned, there's a category of engineering and technology in QS ranking. We are in the top 500 worldwide. So we are, we're really international quality and really among the best in the country.
Right. And I would like to just add to what Dr. Syed said. I think one way of looking at the reputation of any program is to look at the placement of their alumni, for example, the quality of their faculty members, the kind of research they're doing and the impact. And if you look at LUMS and the School of Science and Engineering more broadly, then in terms of our student placements and alumni achievements, I think they're right up there. For example, as far as our students are concerned, our students get admissions in the master's and PhD programs in leading universities across the world, MIT, Stanford, Berkeley, year-round. Similarly, our students have, get industry placements in very competitive venues. Our students are also doing their own entrepreneurship. So roughly, like Dr. Syed said, 5 to 10% of our students actually are building their own companies. and that also speaks to the reputation that SSC has and LUMS more broadly has.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay. So the next question is from Saleha, and she'd like to know how actively will I be involved in research on the undergraduate level? Dr. Tariq, if you could please answer.
Yeah, I think Dr. Hassan and Syed already explained it a bit. So undergraduate research is actually very much part of our curriculum. You can't complete your degree without being a researcher during your undergrad. So what we do at SSC is we encourage our students at sophomore level already. The ones who are very passionate, they join us in the labs, whether it is in computer science, it's in chemistry, it's in any 6 or 7 disciplines we have at School of Science and Engineering. Then on top of this, your final year, the 4th year, the senior year, there you have a year-long project, which we call the senior project. So the ones who start, and we encourage good students to get engaged with a professor and start working in your sophomore year or junior year, they have the most exciting thing, because by the time they arrive in the final year, in the senior year, their senior project ends up in a very good publication. I know many of our computer science, and I would like Dr. Hassan to also add to this. They publish as first authors or main authors in our computer science programs, I know, in our electrical engineering program, because there it's possible. The one like in chemistry, in biology, in physics, where normally the research project takes long, although they also have to finish senior projects. They leave behind a legacy or a very significant input in a project which ends up in a major publication later on. So research is, purpose of teaching you the fundamentals in first 2 years is actually to prepare you to start thinking critically, to start questioning what you are learning, and start defining a scientific question in whatever discipline you are interested in. So research is the most important aspect of our undergrad curriculum.
Right.
Hassan, I think.
Yes, I think besides the senior project, which provides an opportunity for students to engage in research, LUMS also has research baked in as part of their curriculum. So SSC students can take up to 6 credits of independent work, directed research project, along with a faculty member, and engage in research. And like Dr. Tariq said, students can work in the research labs of various faculty members as research interns and research assistants during their degree program. So we have these 3 major opportunities for undergraduate students to engage in research.
Okay, so there's a relevant question to this one. So Fariha, I would like to know, can undergraduate students work with PhD students for their research-related work?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, this is what generally happens. When you join a research group of a faculty member, they generally tend to have 1 or more PhD students, few master students, and undergraduate students, and they work usually in a team, where a senior graduate student would be mentoring them along with the faculty member. So yes.
Okay.
Just a second. Students get paid for research too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a plus point. Okay, so the next question is from Nurul Amin, and she'd like to know differentiate between mechanical and civil engineering. Dr. Syed.
Difference?
Yes.
That's an interesting one. Civil engineering is about construction of buildings and urban infrastructure, canals and roads and bridges and tall buildings, Burj Al Arab and Burj Khalifa, those kind of buildings that go 1 kilometer tall. That is under discussion these days. How can the buildings be even taller? And the kind of material that is used, smart materials and environmentally friendly materials. So that is what is civil engineering. Mechanical engineering is about engines, about levers, about gears, about transmission system, cars and the aeroplanes and the machining and manufacturing. So that is the 2 distinct fields. But they're all, along with electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and sometimes chemical engineering, they're all categorized as fundamental engineering disciplines. Other branches of engineering, for example, mechatronics or petroleum or some others, they are offshoots of these 4 fundamental engineering types.
Right. Okay, so the next question is from Misbah. How strong is the research in robotics and artificial intelligence? Dr. Hassan, that's for you.
So we have expertise in artificial intelligence and robotics that spans 2 departments, computer science and electrical engineering. We have an entire cluster of faculty members and students that do research in that. And more specifically, we have expertise of faculty members who are working in the agriculture sector. So how can we make the agriculture sector more efficient by making use of robots and drones to achieve various kinds of efficiencies? We have a lot of expertise in the realm of AI in the context of computer graphics and computer vision, making sense of scenes within a video, objects within a video, and such like. So we have a large group that focuses on AI, machine learning, and robotics, in both the departments.
Right. Okay, so Mariam would like to know, does the Department of Offensive Security exist in the school?
Oh my God.
So it's slightly unclear what
offensive security.
Yeah.
We're not a military institution.
However, we have faculty members who are working in computer security, network security, and privacy.
Yeah.
In fact, we have 3 faculty members who work in this broad space. So they work on various aspects of it.
Computer security, but
Computer security. Yes. Okay. All right. So the next question is from Essen. What's the ratio of theoretical and laboratory education for the program?
Sorry.
So it will vary from discipline to discipline. So would you mind repeating the question?
Yes, the question is, what's the ratio of theoretical and laboratory education for the program?
Yeah. So for example, in the freshman year, in the first year, you do have labs. As a science student, when you join School of Science and Engineering, you will be exposed to biology, physics, chemistry, computer science. I remember in the earlier days I learned this. So the CS100 course, it's a lot is to do with coding and programming. You go into there's a lab component as well. So wherever we feel that a student should be exposed to practical aspect within a course, you do have experimental lab as well, be it theoretical or experimental. It could be in chemistry or in biology or physics, etc.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Tariq. The next question is from Faisal. What facilities are offered by the SSC Central Lab? Dr. Syed?
Yeah, so this was a concept, we try to break the boundaries, and we try to have a lot of facilities. So we came up with this nomenclature of central labs. So labs that have where the faculty members and students, research students, both undergraduate and graduate from different programs can make use of those facilities. So they're not confined to a particular department. And for example, we have NMR, which is a very expensive state-of-the-art equipment. Nuclear magnetic resonance analysis is performed. We have SEM, scanning electron microscope. We have some other very high-end instruments. And those, we have a clean room, for example, for device fabrication. We have 40 gigahertz network analyzer for measurement of antennas and waveguides. So many very, very high-end, very expensive equipment, and that is categorized as central labs. And the facilities are open for all the students that we have. So you can, if you are interested, certainly you can use those facilities. Some faculty member will give you guidance on how to use those equipment, but it is open for all the students.
Okay. So Mohammed Ahmed would like to know, does LUMS offer agriculture course? Dr. Tariq?
So we don't offer any classical agriculture course. If you're interested in, for example, agronomy or horticulture, but within the molecular cell biology, we do have plant physiology course. In short, we call this plant phys. And that is basically the crux of plants. We do have plant molecular biology being taught as part of developmental biology course, how plants develop. But we don't have a proper agriculture course or courses or degrees. But let me tell you, the modern day agriculture is actually based on molecular tools or the molecular biology of DNA and proteins, etc.
Okay. So the next question is also for you, Dr. Tariq. Hira Malik would like to know the scope and future prospect of biology if one is graduated from LUMS.
A very good question. So as I said, so we train you in fundamentals, and we don't train you in a narrow area. So during last 6 years, when our first batch started graduating, I think more or less every student which graduated in first 4 or 5 batches, they ended up winning fully funded PhD scholarship abroad. Because the kind of education you get, the kind of training and the vision faculty gives you is not to end up your education immediately after BS. We inspire you and we teach you to dream big. So I know by now we have nearly 100 plus students who are doing PhDs. The earliest batches, they started finishing their PhDs abroad in US. All of them are sitting in US. Now, their chances of getting into top-notch universities are very high, because the curriculum, the no boundaries philosophy, which Syed and Hassan introduced earlier, that is what is the main theme which is being liked by top-notch places around the world. Because this kind of curriculum, this no boundaries philosophy, this was not initiated by Europe or America by 2008. So LUMS took quite an early initiative by starting this degree. The students which finish PhD there, so they many of them are working in biotech industry, Genentech, life sciences, in vitrogen. These are big biotech giants, I tell you. Agrochemical, Novartis, for example, a pharmaceutical industry, SmithKline Beecham even. So these are the names coming to my mind where our students are placed and working as scientists after finishing their PhDs. Not everybody is interested in PhD. So the ones who are not interested in PhD, they went for masters abroad. Again in Columbia, in Northwestern. So these are again top universities. And after MS, they also went into industry. The ones who are finishing PhD, they so career in biology is it requires long training. So you have to have PhD and then postdoc if you want to go to academia. So there are people who after PhD and postdoc, they are planning, I know, that they want to compete for positions of professor in America or maybe come back to Pakistan. Within Pakistan, if you want to join industry or academia, so after BS in biology at LUMS, there are quite a few students who joined, for example, TNS Beacon House or these private grammar schools. Others went to, for example, Novartis at Karachi. Some went to packages. So they went. So the training of SSC is so broad that you are not restricted to jobs in just biology. You become so fearless and so energetic that you can take up any challenge. There is a computer software giant in Pakistan, I call this Confess. That's a startup which was initiated at LUMS. One of our biology students, she's working there in their marketing team. So training of SSC is really very broad. You will not be just restricted to biology when it comes to jobs.
Right, okay. So Abdullah Irfan would like to know, how will LUMS School of Science and Engineering help us in the field of computer sciences? Are all the latest practices taught, and are they a part of the program?
Yes, very much. One, like Dr. Syed also said initially, that one of the unique things about the computer science program is that first, we are part of SSC, which means you will be taught basic sciences, which I think is very unique in Pakistan and in fact in the region. The second thing is, within computer science, we have a rigorous core curriculum which focuses on algorithms and data structures and programming and such like. And then we have elective areas within computer science that broadly covers things like artificial intelligence, network security, software engineering, human-computer interaction. And one of the really interesting things about computer science is that we have faculty members who are researching the cutting edge area. So for example, we have recently introduced courses in data science, deep learning, privacy, and so on. And so because of the fact that our faculty members are really good researchers, they're able to move into new aspects within computer science pretty fast. So besides the curriculum, earlier we discussed, we also provide students with the opportunity of independent work, which I think really stretches their learning beyond the classroom, beyond the structured classroom learning, which I think is invaluable in today's time, where students are exposed to a lot of unstructured questions, which really enhance learning.
Right. Okay, so this one's also for you, Dr. Ehsan. Umair Ali would like to know in which field you are working on machine learning algorithms.
Right. So within the broad space of machine learning, we have several faculty members who are working on different aspects of machine learning. So, for example, one faculty member is interested in applying machine learning to agriculture problems, understanding patterns within agriculture, and then optimizing based on that. One of our faculty members is working on understanding how can we preserve, for example, our architectural buildings by applying machine learning algorithms to reconstruct them in 3D images within computers. So there's a broad spectrum of areas within machine learning that our faculty members actually cover.
Right. Okay, so Khubaib Ahmed would like to know, does LUMS provide financial aid scholarships to support your idea, research project, or a product if you want to launch it? Dr. Shahid, if you could take this.
Yeah, in general, I would say that the faculty members, most of the faculty members in the school have some external grants and projects that they are working on. So best thing would be that the students, once they've taken a course or two, they develop some rapport with the instructor, and they can approach the faculty member and ask to work on a certain project. And that's how research generally emanates. That's how it originates. And then with discussion with the faculty member, with the other group members, new ideas are generated, and some of these get the attention of the faculty who is leading the project, and then the funds are also made available. But otherwise, it's an academic environment. Students do have their ideas. We try to support as much as possible in terms of providing research support, computers, equipment that is required. And at times we even allow the students, allow means we actually support financially if they want to travel internationally to learn something or to present their work at some leading conference. That has happened in the past. So we do try to support again, but remember that in academic environment, the first point of contact generally would be the faculty member, the faculty who is leading the project or who is your supervisor. And that's how the system works.
And just to add to that, SSC also houses the National Incubation Center Lahore.
Yes.
And so this is a large incubation center which is housed in the basement of SSC. And many of our students, generally those who are close to graduation and are interested in entrepreneurship, they can get a lot of guidance from people here at NICL, and they also raise funding for their ideas and products. So that's also an avenue that SSC provides our students who are interested in entrepreneurship.
Okay, so Waleed Asher would like to know which undergraduate programs are available for the students from a pre-medical background at SSC. Dr. Shahid.
Yeah, so there are restrictions from Pakistan Engineering Council. So basically electrical engineering and chemical engineering are two programs that pre-medical background students cannot pursue. But other 6 programs, I'll just, for the sake of completeness of my answer, so physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, computer science, and then there's a joint program, mathematics and economics. So these programs are possible for students with either pre-medical or pre-engineering background. But for electrical engineering and chemical engineering, only students with pre-engineering background, that is the students who have done math in A levels or FSC, are eligible to pursue.
Thank you for that, Dr. Shahid. So Amna Mekhan would like to know how closely are software engineering and computer science degree at LUMS similar or different?
Okay, so many universities in Pakistan have separate computer science programs and a separate software engineering program. Here at LUMS, we have just one computer science program, and there we teach the foundations of computer science, and software engineering is one of the important courses that our students take. And so, we tend to think that computer science education needs to be much more broad-based, and that's why we have opted for a broad-based computer science education with a rigorous core and several electives that students can take actually.
Okay, so again, this is related to computer science. Deel Akram would like to know, is computer science and computational biology program interrelated?
Absolutely. Like Dr. Tariq said, many of the biology problems are very closely intertwined with computer science. So, because they involve, for example, protein analysis, human gene analysis, and that means you have to deal with large amounts of data and you have to think critically about algorithms that can analyze that large amount of data efficiently. And that's the realm of computer science as well. So there's a lot of overlap between computer science and computational biology. In fact, we have had computer science undergraduate majors who have done senior projects with the biology faculty, for instance.
If you could please add.
Yeah, so I think I already said that bioinformatics or computational biology is actually computer science. So all over the world, what I have seen, computational biology or bioinformatics is housed within the computer sciences. Because, all these algorithms, data analytics, even the gene network analysis, protein network analysis, they are done by the computer scientists because they are appropriately trained or well equipped in terms of tools and methodologies. So they are related very much.
Okay, so the next question is from Bilal Tanveer, and he'd like to know, is there a way that I can join SSC in the capacity of a faculty member immediately after graduating? Dr. Syed?
For undergraduate degrees, the possibilities in the form of teaching assistant or research assistant, those possibilities exist. For teaching a faculty position, at least a master degree, preferably a PhD is needed.
Okay. The next question is, do you offer diploma in food microbiology? Zara would like to know this. Dr. Tariq?
No, we don't offer any diploma course in whole of SSC, I believe. But we do have a course in microbiology, which is a core course in biology program. So in that microbiology, you learn all kinds of, infectious microbes or pathological microbes, as well as there's a small part about food microbes as well.
Yes, I want to add. So recently in the university, there is a new Center for Continuing Education that is where we are exploring diploma and non-degree programs. That may be a possibility to offer a diploma in food security, for example, but it's not under plans right now. Maybe a possibility in the future.
Yes, so you can visit our website to know the updates on that. Okay, Sana would like to know, what is a typical first year schedule like?
Cramped. Cramped.
One word, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting. So what I feel now is that students who come to SSC are really passionate. So they don't want to leave the lab. They don't want to go out of the environment that they so much spend their time in. So because of labs, the working hours are a bit longer. But it's fun. I have always liked the labs. There's so much fun, so much activity, teamwork. And you can talk and you can look at what other people are doing. But students do spend relatively more time either in the classroom or in the lab in SSC compared to other schools. And that is understandably so because of science. The science is more about talking to each other, discussing and understanding things from multiple perspectives and sources. And same for laboratories. So working hours are a bit longer, but it's more fun.
Okay, so Muhammad Usman Rana would like to ask, I'm sure LUMS is one of the best curriculums and learning environment. How do you guys work on students' personal brand, ethics, self-discipline, and self-awareness, for example?
Yeah,
so that's a very good question. So in SSC, we have a advisement program where every student is assigned to a faculty member for advisement, and that advisement goes beyond academics as well. So that's one avenue where we, students get to interact with faculty members and can discuss a variety of issues and challenges that they face. The other thing is that in our curriculum, broad university curriculum, we have courses in that touch upon, for example, ethics of different aspects. And so I think it's partly baked into our curriculum, the ethics and the human side of it. So for example, we have in the core curriculum in free electives, students have the opportunity to take courses, for example, in philosophy, in international relations, in human behavior, And so that also broadens the perspective about how they place themselves in society and interact with society, for instance.
Okay. Dr. Syed, would you like to add to this?
Yeah, see, just more formal way. Learning takes place in different ways. So one part of learning is in the formal classrooms, and where teacher teaches and students take notes and understand. That is cognitive learning. There is another affective domain that where the learning takes place through behavior. So we also try to put a lot of emphasis on how students behave and how the environment reacts to different ethical and non-ethical behavior. So I think if you are moving about in the campus and there's very active campus life, you get to learn about ethics, you get to learn about different repercussions of non-ethical behavior, of non-professional behavior. So there's a lot of learning, and we actually encourage our students to be a part of LUMS. We call it LUMS family. So once you are part of the family, you get to experience a lot of things, and the experiences teach you a lot. So other than the classroom formal learning, there is a lot of learning on different aspects of personality development that one learns from just the environment of being on campus.
Absolutely. So it's not just about one school, one degree, it's about the whole experience at LUMS. Okay, so Sohail would like to know, how exposed will I be to international scientific platforms and events? Dr. Tariq, if you could answer.
Yeah, so as Syed already introduced that in the senior year, towards the senior year, when a student is exposed to research projects or has defined a scientific question and has gained enough experience while working with a faculty, there's a possibility, if you have groundbreaking discovery. Our undergrads from electrical engineering, from computer science, I believe as well, they have gone to international conferences, top-notch conferences in their areas of expertise. So there is funding, and these are sponsored by a school. So these students get funding to travel as well, boarding, lodging, registration fee, etc. Then on campus, you have these different societies which organize these scientific events, or like I know Spades is a society. They get students all over Pakistan. Students come, they compete. There are events like forensic medicine or robotics. So it's a very active campus life at LUMS, and there are scientific societies where these events take place.
And just to add to Dr. Tariq, our students have also done internships internationally at different universities in US, Switzerland, Turkey. And our students also go on for exchange programs for a semester abroad, for instance. And that also, provides them with an international experience.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so there are two recent examples that come to my mind. One is our students took part in Microsoft Imagine Cup. And there was, I think, semi-final or final round that took place in New York, and a team of 4 or 5 students made it to New York, and they presented they worked there. Another team I remember from electrical engineering, they made some solar vehicle that was very efficient on fuel, and they were invited to present their vehicle in Singapore, and we made arrangements for that. Again, I remember Dr. Abu Bakr in electrical engineering. He had a number of years ago, about 9 years ago, he had made a robot that would go in the fields and look for landmines. And they won some competition in Lebanon. And the students and the faculty advisor, they all took, even their vehicle, they took to Lebanon and demonstrated their work. So, there are a number of opportunities. And so knowledge, it's all about passion. It's all about enthusiasm. It's all about what you want to do. And there's no limit, really.
Okay, so last question of the session. Ali Muhammad Beg would like to ask, how much support is available for students with disabilities? For example, I want to pursue a degree in physics, but I have a weak eyesight. I also have color blindness. This means that conducting experiments where taking sensitive measurements is almost impossible for me. Does LUMS accommodate students in this regard? Dr. Syed?
Yeah, see, I'm very sorry to know about the disability, and I hope things turn out well. See, there's some practical constraints, and they're not confined to LUMS as such. We would accommodate as much as possible, but there's safety issues, there are medical issues. So I think we would need some, so I don't want to prejudge or make any comment that may not be suitable. But I think it depends on the situation. We will look at the circumstances and maybe seek medical advice. And if we feel that the advice says that the students can work in a laboratory environment, there are moving parts and there are other things, the high temperatures involved. So we will definitely make a provision.
And just to add to that, we as an institution take accessibility very seriously. We have a very accessible campus first. And the other thing is that our faculty members are also very cognizant and sensitive about accessibility issues. So if you get admission into LUMS, please share, this with your faculty members as well. And I'm very confident that to the maximum extent possible, they're going to facilitate.
Okay, so actually just taking one more question quickly. Adil Akram would like to know, are there CS graduates from LUMS working in big companies like Google, Microsoft? Please share examples.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Several LUMS alumni are working in Facebook, Google, Amazon, Cisco, Apple, you name it. More traditionally speaking, we perhaps have, a very large population in Microsoft. And now in Google, but the numbers are increasing over time.
So I just want to, maybe Ahsan can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have alumni chapters in Silicon Valley and also in Washington, where Microsoft is headquartered.
That's true.
Okay, that's great. Okay. All right, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us today. This is all from today's session. Please, if you need any more information on our science and engineering programs, do visit our website. It's lums.edu.pk for further information on our programs. You can also visit the admission website. It's admission.lums.edu.pk. You can also write directly to our admissions department at admissions@lums.edu.pk. You can call them directly. The number is 042-3560-2177. Please remember that the deadline to apply to our undergraduate programs is 30th January 2020. So please complete the application process, send your documentation before that date. We'll be coming live again tomorrow to talk about the law school at LUMS at the same time. So please do join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ji. Bye.